Yes, thank you very much, Ali. Welcome everyone to the frozen north of England. Snow on the ground here, and indeed all the way to Harrogate, which is only 15 miles away. But here we are inside the famous walls of Elland Road for a cup tie that we've never seen before. It's West Yorkshire against North Yorkshire. It's Leeds United against Harrogate Town. It's the Championship leaders against the League Two strugglers. And it's Leeds United who are going to kick off, playing from left to right towards the Norman Hunter stand. They've got Carl Darlow in goal for this one. Mellier's rested today. Schmidt, Giavogi, Strauch and Byram are the Leeds back four. Then Rothwell and Ampadu with Solomon, Nonto and Ramazzani with Matteo Joseph up front. So it's a much changed Leeds team, as referee James Bell, you might have heard him blowing the whistle, and Leeds kicking off this FA Cup third round tie. Yes, Daniel Farke making 8 changes to his team, but it's still a strong side. 8 changes to the side that drew 3-3 with Hull City last weekend. Harrogate, same players as last week, but a slightly different formation, as Jasper Moon just comes across for Harrogate to head it out of play. Leeds in their first choice colours, the all white with the blue trim, and Harrogate Town likewise, the yellow shirts with the black stripes, black shorts and black socks. And Harrogate with James Belshaw in goal, a back four today of Sims, O'Connor, Moon and Burrell, and then in midfield Cornelius, Morris, Sutton and Daly, and then March and Muldoon. Paul Robinson sitting next to me, former England goalkeeper, but also famously Leeds United goalkeeper. Paul, you saw some of your best moments sitting playing in this stadium.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's absolutely brilliant to see it full, isn't it, for an FA Cup third round tie. The magic of the cup has arrived at Elland Road. I mean, Harrogate Town were extremely excited when the draw was made. The two sides that play each other every season in pre-season, there's a great relationship between the two clubs, loaning players backwards and forwards, etc. And it's just a really good occasion for both teams, especially the Harrogate Town supporters coming here today.
Yeah, over 4,000 in the Harrogate Town end. There were tickets returned yesterday, so I can actually see 1 or 2 empty seats in that section, but it is not far short of full. As Schmidt, starting at right back for Leeds, plays it towards the edge of the penalty area, but Ampadu, the Leeds captain, trying to get there. It's clear to the halfway line. Strauch, who's back from injury. I wasn't necessarily expecting him to be in the team, having missed the Hull City match. Strauch with an ankle problem, but he's fit and he's in the team, and here he's committed a foul on the halfway line that referee Bell is going to talk to him about. It's a free kick to Harrogate.
Yeah, he's done well, Dean Cornelius, and they're going to have to do that, Harrogate. They're going to have to soak up a little bit of pressure, and when they do get the ball away, get the ball forward, players running from deep like Cornelius, like Morris, like Sutton, try and hold the ball up, win free kicks for the side, keep possession and try and get the ball into the Leeds United half.
Yes, Dean Cornelius, the number 8, he's a real battler, as is Levi Sutton as well, the other midfielder for this match. It looks as though Strauch has maybe knocked a tooth, and the medical people are on and they're looking into his mouth, so I don't think you need to be Dr. Christian Barnard to work out what's going on there.
Certainly not ready to diagnose him from this kind of distance, but on the monitors, yeah, the physios and doctors are peering deep into Pascal Strauch's molars.
I don't think he can't have lost a tooth, because he seems okay, but maybe he's slightly loosened one. But anyway, yeah, in fact they're going to take him off the field on the far side, and he committed the foul. Then Cornelius, who, as I say, he's a tough little Scottish midfielder. I think he landed on top of him and he's felt it. So Leeds are playing with 10 men, while James Belshaw, who's one of the best goalkeepers in League Two, is going to take this free kick long towards the edge of the area. O'Connor heads it on for Harrogate, comes out to the edge of the box, but Levi Sutton trying to take it on, got a heavy touch on that. Leeds cleared it away, and now here's Nonto, one of the players who come into the starting lineup for Leeds. He's fouled 10 yards inside the Leeds half, and they get a quick free kick to get on with it.
Yeah, it's an early sign for what Harrogate Town are going to do. They're not going to make any apologies for launching the ball forward from set plays. That free kick was 10-15 yards inside the Harrogate Town half. They put the 2 centre-backs forward, the 2 wing-backs forward, and they launched it towards the edge of the Leeds United box, and that's something that they'll look to do this afternoon.
Yes, they got a crucial win, Harrogate Town, in League Two at Barrow last weekend, when they won by 2-0. They're coming into this weekend with just 2 places and 5 points above the relegation zone. So it's a relegation struggle that they're involved in, having played in League Two since they won promotion to the Football League for the first time in 2000. Leeds back in possession with Vogie, who is playing in central defence. That was also a little bit of a surprise. Nominally a defensive midfielder, the man who they signed from Germany, from Mainz last year, French international, but this is a position that he played in Germany on a number of occasions. Here's Schmidt now on the right hand side, can play at left back. Now it finds its way to the right hand side, ball crossed into the Harrogate penalty area. O'Connor was there on the stretch to clear it away. Little ball in for Leeds towards the edge of the penalty area by Ramazzani. Then it's swept out to the left hand side by Ampadu, and Leeds are onto this, cross into the penalty area, headed out by Harrogate towards the edge of the area, then nicked away for the visitors. But after that, Leeds quickly win it back. Manor Solomon, the number 14 on loan from Tottenham, takes it out towards the left hand side, and Leeds are all over Harrogate here, attacking towards that right hand end of the ground. Leeds shot on the turn but straight at Belshaw from Ramazzani from 22 yards out, but the Harrogate Town goalkeeper was able to gather it in and fall forwards.
Well, they've made a really good start. Leeds United started on the front foot, playing a back four, but the two full-backs, Isaac Schmidt, who I know many Leeds United fans were looking forward to seeing today, Sam Byram on the left, Schmidt on the right, both allowing to be pushed on. That time it was Byram on the left, really good interchange with Ramazzani, gets a decent strike in from the edge of the box, doesn't trouble the goalkeeper.
Leeds 0, Harrogate Town 0. Ball played over the top by Cornelius. A chance here, but he rather got under the shot, Josh March, and just lifted it, and it was an easy take for Carl Darlow, who's come in to start here, come in to play in what is only his second appearance of the season, the former Newcastle and Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, the Welsh international. In fact, he's played for Wales since he last played for Leeds United, played in Leeds' one cup match that they've had so far this season when they lost 3-0 here to Middlesbrough. But it's been the big talking point, goalkeepers for Leeds United this week, Paul, so just as well you're sitting here.
Certainly haven't brought me boots and gloves though, John, if that's what you mean. I think the change from Meslier was inevitable. I think he's a goalkeeper that plays, he's got all the tools in the bag, but he's a confidence goalkeeper. When he's playing well, he makes good decisions, he makes good saves, and it goes without saying, he plays well every week. But when he has a knocking confidence, like the first thing Sam Allardyce did when he came here in the Premier League season, he saw that Mellier's confidence was shot and he took him out. In a similar way at the moment, he's making bad decisions. His mistake at Hull last weekend. This is a really good opportunity for Daniel Farke to put Carl Darlow in, who at 34 is still an excellent goalkeeper. If he does well today, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays in for the league match next week.
Yes, and I don't think a surprise either as Leeds have a throw-in inside their own half. I don't think a surprise either that Mellier's been completely rested today, so he's not on the bench. So another experienced goalkeeper, Alex Cairns, is actually the substitute goalkeeper.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of a rest, Illan Meslier. He's in the firing line, he's under a lot of pressure from... I mean, you saw Joe Rodon's reaction to him when he conceded the goal at Hull. Maybe a little bit of unrest from his teammates as well. And when you like that as a goalkeeper, sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees. You want to keep playing, keep working, and get yourself out of a situation. Sometimes it takes a manager to put his arm around you and say, look, you need a bit of a rest. And that's what he's done today. So it is Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0. We do have a choice of listening for you. The Manchester City Salford City tie is on Sports Extra. If you're on your way home, it is on BBC One right now. And there has been an opening goal with you, Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, and the Premier League side lead here, John. Jeremy Doku, his first real opportunity really to get forward down the left-hand side, beating Matty Young down the left of the area, sent forward by Matheus Nunes. Manchester City 1, Salford City 0.
As Solomon crossing from the right-hand side, but that is a catch from goalkeeper Belshaw quite comfortably at the near post. Correction, by the way, Meslier is on the substitutes bench for Leeds today. I have to say, I'm not sure how I misread that, but anyway, Alex Cairns not involved and Meslier is named among the subs. As Leeds have the ball with Rothwell in central defence and he slips it forward. This is for Gnonto to chase. Gnonto goes for the early cross, but Joseph was doing his best to get there, but it was beyond him, whipped low, and Harrogate Town will clear it away from the back. In fact, it's one for March to chase, but Vogie is underneath that and Leeds have it back.
It was a lovely ball, wasn't it, by Joe Rothwell? Halfway line, looked up, saw Willie Gnonto on his bike, threaded it in between centre-back and full-back, and that's the type of pace that Willie Gnonto's got. Interesting to see where they would have played today. Solomon, Gnonto and Ramazzani all used to playing wide, and it's actually Gnonto playing on the right-hand side and Solomon playing in that unfamiliar number 10 role to him.
Yeah, but he's a talent, isn't he, the Israel international. Leeds 0, Harrogate Town 0. And Pascal Strauch bringing the ball forward, but then playing it back more towards the halfway line to Joe Rothwell, who's another lone player, Leeds United, on loan from Bournemouth. Now a ball through towards Joseph on the edge of the penalty area, and that is cut out in the left back position for Harrogate, but Gnonto is able to take it on, left foot shot, but that's blocked inside the penalty area by Moon, and then Pascal Strauch wins it back. Leeds have it again. Strauch just retreats over towards the left hand side. Whatever the problem was when he took that bang in the mouth, he seems okay, Pascal Strauch. And now Giavogi tried to play the ball through the inside right position. Harrogate were able to clear that back towards the central midfielder, who played it through again, which is exactly what he's doing now, but O'Connor's able to win it back, then march into the challenge. Might have been caught by Giavogi. Referee Bell says no, play on Leeds United, and so Joe Rothwell is able just to roll it out towards the left hand side and then get it back. The lightly bearded number 8 Rothwell, then Giavogi will give it to Strauch in the centre circle. It is a cold night, of course it is here. You can clearly see the players' breath on the air, and the Leeds chorus begins to strike up from the Don Revie stand, which is to our left. But the match almost exclusively has been played so far, the first 10 minutes of it, inside Harrogate's half at the other end of the ground, in front of the Norman Hunter stand, which has that one section of empty seats in between the two sets of supporters. Rothwell swings the ball again out towards the left hand side, and then a little ball in towards the corner of the box. Byram is still there, the left back. He's another one who's come back after he's been ill, actually. Rothwell playing it towards the edge of the penalty area. Joseph, then back to Ampadu. Now the cross from the left hand side. Joseph's after it, but it was caught by Belshaw, who was able to just draw the ball into his midriff as he moved out of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, they're having to soak up a fair amount of possession. Harrogate Town, they're sitting deeper. You have to give Simon Weaver credit, the formation that he's come here with today, the 4-4-2 formation, rather than the back five that we all expected before kick-off. You would think that they'd be looking to attack more than they have done, but actually they've sat deep, they've soaked up a lot of Leeds United pressure, but at the moment they're doing okay.
They are, and it is still 0-0. We've got past the first 10 minutes, and the other match, there is one other match kicking off tonight, later this evening in the FA Cup third round, Coventry against Sheffield Wednesday, which begins at 6 o'clock. And so that is one of the wide variety of different kick-off times. 15 different kick-off times, Paul, over the course of Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You'll have to remember
Sunday,
where you're going this weekend,
Monday.
John. You've got a long drive tonight, haven't you?
Well, I've had longer, and they're just about to get underway at Coventry, where Coventry will be playing Sheffield Wednesday in one of the All Championship ties. Here's one for Josh March to chase down the left. Oh, Giavogi puts the challenge in as he goes round him and then went sprawling down onto the dead ball line. He gets up, palms apart. Giavogi immediately was playing the innocent. I think there was we're seeing it again now, Paul. What do you think?
He's very lucky there, Giavogi. I mean, there's no VAR in operation, as we know, until the 5th round. But March, he steals a march on him, for want of a better saying. Gets round Giavogi and he puts his left arm across him. He looks like he tangles with his left foot. Josh March does really, really well. Gets the wrong side of the centre half and makes the referee make a really big decision right in front of that Leeds United support. And he was rolling on the ground, Josh March, not because he was injured, not because he was diving, just in pure frustration that he didn't get the penalty. Yeah. He was adamant it was a penalty.
Yes, and that's a referee's call, isn't it? As Leeds come forward at the other end, ball played into Joseph at the near post. I think it came off the defender, yes it did, O'Connor, and it's behind for a corner to Leeds United. Yeah, I think I don't know if that contact had been maybe slightly stronger, but even so, he did have his hand on his back. Whether that forced him to go down in the way that he did, though, is probably the question for the referee.
The combination of the arm on his back, and I think there was a slight coming together of legs, tangling the legs. Started outside the box, ended inside the box. Referee chose the decision to ignore it and play on. Well,
they had a case, certainly making a note of it, Paul. Corner to Leeds, though, at the other end. This one comes in high and is very well and strongly headed away by Warren Burrell, the Harrogate Town captain. Played back out to the left-hand side. All of the Leeds United shirts are still up there after the set piece. And then the cross comes in from Byram, but that's blocked. Comes back to Solomon over there on the left-hand side, and he plays it back towards the halfway line. Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0, and Leeds putting a a great deal of pressure on Harrogate Town in these early moments, and in fact the ball has bounced to Solomon on the left hand side, drives it across, but in slid the defender to put it behind for another Leeds United corner. There are Champions League, Champions Cup Rugby Union matches underway. We're going to get an update from Munster Saracens very shortly, which started at 5:30. Also Northampton in action, Newcastle as well in the Challenge Cup. But that will come after we see what happens with this Leeds United corner. Still 0-0 here in this FA Cup tie, this sold out FA Cup tie. In comes the corner towards Strouk, but it was headed down and away, good distance towards the halfway line. So come in, Sarah Orchard.
Yes, Munster 3, Saracens 6, 26 minutes on the clock at Thomond Park. So finally the home side gets something on the board. A little bit of eagle-eyed work by the referee to see Jamie George, the England captain, with a little hand in at the ruck. But it's Saracens now 10 metres away from the Munster line. 26 minutes gone. It's Munster 3, Saracens 6.
Nyonto, exciting run into the Harrogate Town penalty area, and then it's blocked behind as the challenge came in from James Daly. He was round a couple of men there, but Daly was able to step across, put it behind for a corner.
He's so sharp, Nyonto. When he gets like that, it's almost like the ball stuck to his right foot. Weaves his way to the edge of the Harrogate Town penalty area, gets in the box, knows that the defenders can't touch him, takes on 2 or 3 more, wins a corner for his team.
Yeah, Stade Francais 5, Northampton 21 after half an hour, and Ospreys 14, Newcastle 10 in the 5:30 kick-off in the Challenge Cup. The other scores, the other live scores. Leicester Ulster is on Sports Extra later. Corner, this one Rothwell's going to take it from the right hand side, but referee Bell is just calling across 2 or 3 of the players actually on the edge of the penalty area. Sam Byram is one of those involved in that. But here is the corner to be taken by Rothwell for Leeds United. It's a deep one towards the back post. That's headed away by Burrell and then headed further away on the edge of the penalty area by Sutton for Harrogate Town. Leeds United have fallen foul of Sutton in recent seasons in the FA Cup. Have been at a number of their embarrassments, although very often they've been very weak teams that Leeds have played, and have been knocked out by Sutton, by Newport County, and indeed Crawley as well. But a strong team that Daniel Farker has played today. Say weak teams, I would say not full strength teams, to correct myself. Here's Rothwell. Rothwell trying to thread it forward. That's flicked away. He's flicked it to Cornelius. Has Sutton. And now Cornelius, long and right-footed. This is one for Muldoon to chase, who is adjudged to have fouled Giavogi.
He just ran straight into him, didn't he? Giavogi was backpedaling, had eyes on the ball, and you could see Jack Muldoon was running towards us. He just ran straight into Giavogi, tried to put him off, tried to win the ball in an unorthodox manner. Referee wasn't having any of it.
So 0-0 here in West Yorkshire. What's the latest across the Pennines with you, Maz Faruqi?
Manchester City so close to a second, John, from a corner, headed back across the face of goal. Kouassi clearing for the League 2 side off the line. So the Premier League side still lead here. Manchester City 1, Salford City 0.
And they've reached half-time in the Women's FA Cup 4th round tie between Manchester United and West Brom. Sani Rudravajala.
Yeah, United, the holders, leading West Brom by a goal to 0. And Paul Robinson will have played those matches where it's attack v defence in one half. That's what we've had here. It's been all United. Melvin Mallard with the opener, but you know, with only 1 goal in it, anything can still happen. Half-time, Man United 1, West Brom 0.
Yes, that's sort of what we've got here, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. But you've got to give Harrogate credit for the way that they've set up. They've set up resiliently. Listen, they know they're going to come to Ellen Road. They're not going to dominate possession. They're not going to have the best opportunities, the chances. But what they've done is Simon Weaver set them up in a way where defensively they've been resilient in the wide areas. They've tried to get Leeds United narrow down the middle of the pitch, tried to stop them going wide, and at the moment they've done well. They've kept in this game, and they've got a clean sheet intact approaching the 20th minute.
Yeah, and Harrogate Town had a case for a penalty.
Absolutely, more than a case, I think, John. More than a case.
Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0. Isaac Schmidt has just taken a bash, and it was a head injury. He's all right, doesn't need any treatment, but the referee stopped play. Isaac Schmidt, the Swiss defender, as I say, he can play on either side. He's another one of the summer arrivals for Leeds United from St Gallen, and this is the first time that he started a match for Leeds, but he is versatile. He's come on as a substitute on a number of occasions, but this is full debut, and here he is just down below us, a lot of hair tied back in a long ponytail down the back of his neck. Strouk over there in possession of the ball on the left-hand side. And then Rothwell dropping deep to receive it, giving it to Giavogi. And Giavogi now stretches his legs, passes it to Schmidt, and then back to Strauch in the centre circle. Leeds United, top of the Championship, a point clear of Burnley at the top of the league, looking to return to the Premier League this season after 2 seasons away. But here in the FA Cup, Joseph cutting in field, but instead passes it, and then Ramazzani with a shot, but it's straight at Belshaw. Left side of the penalty area, got a good strike on it, but it was straight at the Harrogate Town goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a decent save by James Belshaw. Had to have good hands because there was Leeds United players following it in. Solomon it was, laid it across to Ramazzani on the angle, 12, 13 yards out, strikes it with his left foot. Said about Harrogate trying to get Leeds narrow, playing a narrow back four, but in doing that they leave space on the edges of the fullbacks. Toby Sims had tucked in, Ramazzani got the space, good shot, decent save by Belshaw.
Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0. There has now been a second goal at the Etihad Stadium, Maz Faruqi.
And Divine Mubama on his senior start for Manchester City, his first senior start, with the simplest of finishes for Manchester City's second goal. Really nice work to set him up down the right from Savinho, and then Matheus Nunes. So it's Manchester City 2, Salford City 0.
So Manchester City already in charge against Salford at the Etihad Stadium. 2 goals to 0. 20 minutes played here, Paul, still goalless.
And this is the milestones that Harrogate will look for. You know, they'll separate the games into quarters. First 20 minutes is the most important one. It'll be part of Simon Weaver's team talk. Get to 20 minutes, keep it tight, keep hitting the channels, try and get the ball forward. The biggest thing, stay in the game for as long as we can. And they're certainly doing that. They're giving a good account of themselves.
Here's the little Belgian, Ramazzani, with the ball on the left-hand side. Passes it back, it comes through the central defenders. And then Schmidt. Solomon's appeared on the right-hand side. There's been a lot of movement, hasn't there, between Solomon, Ramazzani and Gnonto. But it is Byram currently over there on the left-hand side, back towards the halfway line, and Leeds will start again. So 0-0 here. I can let the listeners into a little secret, a little 5 Live secret, in that it was quite a difficult decision, wasn't it, whether to choose for the 5 Live commentary match, whether it was this one here at Elland Road or the one at the Etihad Stadium. But with it 0-0 here, approaching midway point of the first half, and with Manchester City leading by 2 goals to 0, somebody knows what they're doing, it would appear.
somebody, not us, that's way above our pay grade, John.
No, good grief. way above. way. It's Ian Dennis who makes decisions like that. Ian Dennis and Mark Chapman.
He's on his way back from Brentford. He's got a long trip to Newcastle tomorrow, yes, Mr. Dennis, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one tomorrow afternoon. Obviously Arsenal, Manchester United will get all of the attention tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you watch that on BBC One. But Newcastle United, Bromley will be here on 5 Live. And obviously we'll be right across all of the other events as well, everything that happens at the Emirates. And I think that's an interesting one tomorrow afternoon, Newcastle United, Bromley. But here's Schmidt on the right-hand side. I think it's getting colder, Paul. You reliably looked at me earlier and said it's already -3.
Yeah.
Here's Solomon out to the left-hand side. Ramazzani is there. Ramazzani now into the penalty area, shoots right across the face of goal, and I think in the end it went out for a throw-in on the Harrogate Town left. So 1 or 2 cheers from the good people of Harrogate who are here.
He's looked lively down that left-hand side, Ramazzani. That time cutting on his right foot. Looked to shoot across goal, far post. Unfortunately for him, it come off the top of his foot. Ended up, as you say, going out for a throw-in right in that bottom right-hand corner in front of those Harrogate Town fans.
Yes, Largi Ramazzani, who, as I say, is Belgian, although his family are from Burundi, actually. But he's not been a regular starter as well by any means, just his 8th start after his move from Almeria during the course of last summer. But he did score 3 goals in September and October, but hasn't scored since. But I think he's had 3 efforts now in this match.
Yeah, I think from what you said about the team changes as well, 8 changes today, it shows the strength in squad and strength in depth that Daniel Farke's got at his disposal in the Championship, that he's able to do this today.
Harrogate win it back. Levi Sutton gives it to March. And then arriving here on the edge, just down below us for Harrogate, James Daly. And then Bryn Morris is caught in possession. And now they break away, Leeds United, with Ramazzani, and it's played towards Ampadu. Left foot shot, and the defender dives in. Burrell, excellent. Burrell threw himself in the way. I think it might have been going wide, the shot from Ampadu, but I don't think you would necessarily know that, and he blocked it out for a throw.
No, it was a wonderful block by Warren Burrell there. Put his body on the line. Quick break by Leeds.
Oh, lovely turn from Ramazani, then slips the ball through, but overhit that, and it's through for a goal kick. Paul.
Yeah, it was Ramazani again. Quick turnover of possession. Harrogate had committed bodies forward. Ramazani wins possession in the middle of the field. Plays an Ampadu overlapping on the left-hand side. It's a real good opportunity. Harrogate Town defenders closing in on him. And it is, as you say, it's a really good block by Warren Burrell. He didn't know that was going wide. In fact, looking at the replay, it might just have been creeping in that far post.
Yeah, Warren Burrell, who is extremely popular at Harrogate Town, 34 years old, and listen, he's had a checkered life. Warren Burrell spent a couple of years in prison for grievous bodily harm when he was in his formative years, really, but has got himself going in his football career going again, and he's been a great servant for Harrogate Town, almost 400 appearances. It's free kick to Harrogate after that foul on Josh March, just down in front of where we sit here on the gantry, which hasn't changed much, Paul, in all of the years that I've been coming here. In fact, I think I sat up here in almost exactly the same circumstances commentating on you.
And I sat up here as a youngster, sat next to a certain Mr. Ian Dennis commentating for BBC Radio Leeds.
Did you really?
As a non-squad member who gets sent up to do the radio.
Did you?
And it's still exactly the same.
Right, free kick then. And Bryn Morris, one of Harrogate's recent signings, is going to take this. He was signed from Newport County. And if you remember, Newport County played Manchester United in the FA Cup last season, and Morris scored one of the goals. And he's going to take the free kick on his right foot. Morris, right-footed towards O'Connor. He got his head to it, the Harrogate central defender, but was underneath it, and it just looped forward, and Darlow was able to come and take the bouncing ball.
Yeah, it was one of those flat free kicks, just aimed to the far post to Anthony O'Connor. Drilled to the far post, didn't quite get a strike on it, so it faded away to the edge of the box. O'Connor not a clean header. Carl Darlow was able to come and pick up the bouncing ball.
Yeah, when Harrogate have got opportunities like that, set pieces, they've got to make them work.
Yeah, you think they're going to be few and far between the way that the game's settled, the possession that Leeds are having. The possession stats are so heavily favoured in the side of Leeds United. And Harrogate, when they do get in the final third, they do get in Leeds' half, that you say the odd set play, the odd opportunity, they're going to have to make the most of them.
Leeds United coming forward now, still 0-0, almost half an hour played. Byram over on the left-hand side, pushing forward from left-back, but it breaks down on the edge of the Harrogate Town box. Jack Muldoon, excellent servant Jack Muldoon, 35 years old now for Harrogate Town in the forward positions. He's a real worker as well, and not a bad goal scorer, just 3 this season, but it was Jack Muldoon who scored the goal when Harrogate knocked out Wrexham in the first round, which really was quite an upset. And Leeds coming forward again, Solomon on the left hand side, Solomon running at Sims into the penalty area, angles it back, Byram is there, Byram is able just to knock it to Ampadu, and the Welsh international plays it all the way over to Giavogi, who curls one into the Harrogate box. That's headed away by O'Connor, comes back for Leeds. Rothwell now, Rothwell looks forward but then turns and gives it to his right hand side. The sizable figure of Giavogi, must be 6'3", 6'4", black gloves on, long sleeves. It's that type of night. Still 0-0. Solomon again on the left hand side. Cornelius comes back to help out Sims, and Solomon will use the as the ball's played into the penalty area to Joseph, but it just bounces off him and through to goalkeeper Belshaw, who's able to pick it up. It's an opportunity this for Joseph tonight, the young Spanish striker who's not scored since October, and I think he's got a bit of improving to do.
I like him, John. I think he's a really good player. I think there was a call for him to start the season like he did, and it's going to sound really, really stupid, but he's a really good player. But there's no end product, doesn't score enough goals. And with Patrick Bamford with his checkered injury record, he's obviously out injured again. Joel Perreault's scoring the goals now. He's got 10 goals this season. Brendan Aronson's the next with 7. So a natural out-and-out number 9 has been a real problem. I think for me, out the lot of them, Mateo Joseph is the natural number 9, but he doesn't score goals.
Yeah. Perreault, who is the top scorer, he's also got a bit of an injury issue, so he's out with a muscle injury. so not involved here. And as Paul said, Patrick Bamford has a hamstring injury as well. Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0. They've almost reached the half hour. The League Two side, 21st in League Two, so there are 68 places between them. Or alternatively, Harrogate Town are 69 places below Leeds United. And it is Leeds who've got the ball with Ramazzani. He uses Ampadu to his left, and now Strauch over to Byram. Byram just thought about the ball into the penalty area, uses Rothwell, who's in the middle of the half. Square from him again to Ampadu. Then it's worked by Solomon. Gnonto in quite a central position. He was fouled there, I think, as the free kick was given. One of the Harrogate players, when the ball was shot into the penalty area, one of them tried to catch it. Some of the crowd, I don't think, realised that the free kick had already been given for the foul by March, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Josh March. Willie Gnonto on the edge of the box, twisting and turning, and it was a true striker's tackle. Josh March had just had enough of watching Willie Gnonto turn his defenders in and out, so just decided to come in and boot him up in the air, but that hasn't really helped his team. There's a free kick about 25 yards from goal, just off the centre. Really dangerous position for Leeds.
0-0, and we are now past the half hour. So far so good for Simon Weaver's Harrogate Town, who's just exchanging words with Paul Thirlwell, his assistant down there in their long black padded coats. But this is a moment that they've got to survive here. Rothwell is standing over the ball. He's the only contender to take this. He just wipes his nose on his sleeve of his long white long sleeve Leeds United shirt, and he's waiting with a 4-man wall in front of him, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 strides back. Rothwell waiting to take this, right-footed. He takes it all over everyone, over Giavogi, and that was an enormous disappointment from the set piece from Rothwell. Totally wasted.
Yeah, that's far too polite, John. That was really poor. It wasn't a disappointment. It was a disappointment for the players that trekked to the other end of the field, waiting for a delivery in the box. But I mean, that was that poor a delivery. It almost went out for a throw-in from Rothwell. That was awful.
More encouragement for Harrogate Town. 0-0 here. Manchester City 2-0 up on Salford City. And how have things started between Coventry City and Sheffield Wednesday, Nick Hatton?
Goalless at the moment, John. 17 minutes gone. Coventry 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. It's a tale of the final ball just not being good enough at the moment. Jedi Gassama and Anthony Musaba both with poor final deliveries to Wednesday. Jay De Silva overhitting his cross on the left hand side. Not too much happening. 0-0.
Still 2-0 to Manchester City. Doku and Mubama scoring the goals for Manchester City. So Mubama's first goal for Pep Guardiola's side. 0-0 here. Harrogate Town have really not stretched Carl Darlow in the Leeds United goal, but as we've been saying, have had a case for a penalty at the other end. Harrogate have been able to restrict Leeds to shots from round the edge of the penalty area.
I think he'll be really pleased with his team, Simon Weaver, the way that they've set up. As we said, they've set up in a back four, but it's a really narrow back four, trying to drive Leeds down the middle, trying to stifle the space, and so far they've been successful at doing that. They haven't had a lot of possession, they wouldn't expect to, but actually their attitude and their application, their determination, it's going to be difficult for them, but they've been there today.
Schmidt is able to take the ball away from James Daly inside his own half, and then passes it forward. Byram now up towards the edge of the penalty area, but good challenge by O'Connor on Solomon, and Harrogate are able to come out with the ball with Bryn Morris, but Cornelius has given it away over on the far side, and Leeds again with Rothwell, Byram, and then looking for the pass to Solomon. That was cut out by Toby Sims, the Harrogate Town right back, and then there's a free kick for Harrogate for a foul on Dean Cornelius. Let's get another update from the Munster Saracens Champions Cup match with Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, this is a Pool 3 clash, half-time at Thomond Park. Munster 3, Saracens 6. And not the highest scoring of games, with Alex Lazowski slotting a couple for the away side, and then Jack Crowley stepping up for Munster. You have to say, arguably, Munster should have more at this point. They've had opportunities, just haven't been able to capitalise. Half-time, Munster 3, Saracens 6.
And also in that pool, Stade Francais 19, Northampton 21 at half-time. And in the Challenge Cup, also at half-time, Ospreys 21, Newcastle 10. 0-0 here in the FA Cup, the Emirates FA Cup, third round at Elland Road, with Leeds United on the back foot here as Harrogate hit a long free kick, but that was cleared away to the halfway line. O'Connor and it's helped forward, but Muldoon's nowhere near that for Harrogate Town, and Leeds United have got it back. But yep, so far so good for Harrogate Town, who actually have picked up more points in League Two away from home than they have at Wetherby Road this season. Just the one, but nevertheless 13 points to 12. They're able to pick up the odd result when everything clicks for them.
Well, they needed that win last week, didn't they, against Barrow? I mean, since I watched them in the last round of the FA Cup against Gainsborough, won one of their last 8, which is a really poor run to come here on, but actually the win last week giving them a little bit of confidence and changed the mindset coming here today.
Here's Burrell now down in the Harrogate left-back position and does well to win a throw-in down there. But as I was saying to Mark Chapman earlier on this afternoon on 5 Live Sport, you know, the number of times over the years I've come and watched teams in the Premier League or top end of the Championship playing sides down at the bottom end of League Two, non-league, and you see that the performances that some of those teams can put in, and you always ask the question, if they were able to put in performances like this every week, ...
Well, they must leave managers up and down the country, all over Europe, scratching the head. None more so than Ruben Amorim last week for Manchester United. He said it in his post-match, didn't he, after the game at Anfield? Why haven't my team done that all the time that I've been there?
Yes, that was it, wasn't it? He said, I'm the only guy who's upset at Anfield. Not said it too many times about Manchester United, though, Paul, over the years.
No, absolutely not.
Leeds 0, Harrogate Town 0. So more at half-time on the earlier stories today in the FA Cup, of which Plymouth Argyle probably have taken the big headline. Schmidt into the penalty area to Solomon. Solomon shoots across goal, blocked by a defender, blocked out again. It was rattling around. I think some Leeds United supporters were suggesting there might have been a handball. I'm not sure about that. I didn't see any appeals from any of the Leeds United players on the pitch. Here's Gnonto again on the right hand side. Willie Gnonto just slips it through to Schmidt. That was a lovely pass, and then across comes Moon to slide it behind for a corner to Leeds.
Well, the interchange between Schmidt and Gnonto on this right hand side is starting to prove fruition for Leeds. It's growing in confidence. Schmidt overlapping on the outside. Gnonto puts in a lovely pass to the fullback, just gets to the byline, wins his team a corner, but again threatening down this right hand side. Yep,
the corner to be taken under that huge rectangular screen in the corner, which has the badges of Leeds United and Harrogate Town. 0-0. Schmidt, as it's taken short, back to Solomon. That's a good delivery, and it's headed wide. Whether a defender got a touch on that, O'Connor was in there. It's Giavogi who was the Leeds player, and yet the final touch was off the Harrogate Town defender. He's defended that very well, I must say. Anthony O'Connor's done brilliantly well for Harrogate there. It's a great ball into the box by Manor Solomon at the near post, and it looks like Giavogi's going to get his head on it, but across comes Anthony O'Connor, foot almost head height, but he gets there first. No chance of a foul, concedes the corner, but a lovely piece of defending by O'Connor. Yeah, but that's cross of the match so far from Solomon. It was inviting, it was asking to be headed in. Here's the latest Leeds United corner, that's headed away by James Daly towards the halfway line, and we have 7 minutes to go of the first 45, and it remains goalless here. But now Ramazzani is running with the ball into the penalty area, but that's wild, that shot from Ramazzani, as the challenge came in on him, and he looks up at the heavens above Elland Road, palms apart, but it landed in amongst the supporters there, warmly wrapped up behind the goal, and it's still 0-0, Paul Robinson. Yeah, the possession's good from Leeds United, dominating the game, good interchange, but just without that quality in the final third, that final ball, that final pass. James Belshaw in the Harrogate Town goal, he hasn't been overly busy. He's made 1 or 2 good saves in and around him. His handling's been excellent. I mean, at the other end, Carl Darlow sat here down to our left-hand side. He's been a mere spectator. He's had to come and collect 1 or 2 balls. Can't even recall a goal kick that he's had to do. But James Belshaw has been assured with his handling, and Harrogate Town are sticking in there. Yeah, James Belshaw is back in his second spell with Harrogate Town. He was part of the rise and rise from the non-league, promoted to the National League and to the Football League, and then returned in the January of last year, and he is a very capable goalkeeper. 0-0 the score. Harrogate Town, who are now in their 5th season in League Two after being promoted through the National League playoff final in 2020, when they also won the FA Trophy. And it's quite a list of achievements that Simon Weaver's put together in the 15 going on 16 years that he's been the manager of Harrogate Town, the longest serving manager by a distance of all of those at the top 92 clubs, although of course a large number of those were in non-league, 11 seasons of them. Nyonto playing the ball through towards the edge of the area. Solomon, but in comes the challenge. Schmidt though is able to keep possession for Leeds. Nyonto now centrally, ball into Joseph just inside the box with his back to goal, and then Byram, right foot shot, came off the head of the defender Moon, and that took it wide of the top corner and behind for another corner.
Yeah, another Leeds United corner down below to our right hand side of that scoreboard. That time Byram is inside the box, cuts in on his right foot, Moon gets the head on it, deflects it away.
So it's a corner to Leeds. Yes, Plymouth with the headline so far after their victory at Brentford. I hope you were listening to Ian Dennis and Rob Green together for our 3 o'clock FA Cup third round Saturday commentary. That was a good choice as well, as it turned out, for upset Seekers, as Leeds take the corner short into the penalty area. Shot on the turn from Nyonto, then comes out to the edge of the area. Harrogate half get it away. Ramazzani's trying to get it back. It's very congested in there on the edge of the box. Solomon's able to take it out wide to the right hand side, and then Solomon turns. He's up against Cornelius, one way then the other, then the ball into the near post that comes off defender Burrell. That could easily have gone inside the post and in for an own goal. He was a little fortunate there, or maybe I should give him more credit than that it went a couple of feet wide.
They're doing well, Harrogate. They're staying tight as a unit, they're smelling danger, putting the bodies on the line, making blocks, making last-ditch tackles, and at the moment they're sticking in there, John.
Yeah, they are, and they've nearly got to half-time. Less than 5 minutes to go. Rothwell with the corner though, the latest Leeds corner. This one he hits deep towards the far side of the penalty area to Strauch, who nodded it back towards the penalty spot. That was hammered away by Josh March, back inside his own box. Going to go to Coventry in a moment, but Leeds attacking again. Rothwell cutting in from the right hand side. Leeds, Harrogate Town have got everyone, all 11, back behind the ball for these final minutes of the first half. And then Strauch allows the ball to run to Solomon. Solomon to the edge of the area, that's cleared away. This time it's Toby Sims who's able to get it away. Leeds still attacking with Solomon. Solomon's ball into the near post. Joseph with a chance. No, I'm not sure he even got a touch. Belshaw falling forward, grabbed the ball.
What a ball in that is. What a great ball across the box. On the left hand side again. Smashed across the 6-yard box with his left foot. Matteo Joseph attacking the ball at the near post. Goalkeeper gambles, and he gambles right that everybody's going to miss it. It's Manor Solomon with his left foot. Doesn't look up, puts the ball into an area across the front of everybody. That corridor of uncertainty. Matteo Joseph might get the slightest of touches on that actually. Falls into the goalkeeper's hands. A bit like a wicket keeper catch.
Yeah, any significant touch from Matteo Joseph and that would have been 1-0 Leeds United. But he didn't. And it's still Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0. And what about Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday, Nick Hatton?
Coventry City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Liam Kitchen has the goal. It's been coming. Pressure from Coventry. 2 corners in a matter of minutes. The second of them, ball in, bounced around the penalty area, and there was Liam Kitchen to fire home from 12 yards out. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
And the gasps here because Joseph with his shot from the edge of the area hits the foot of the post, the outside of the post, and goes wide of the goal.
Well, they're getting closer and closer, Leeds United. You can only think it's a matter of time. That time it's Matteo Joseph, runs at the backpedaling Harrogate defence. Anthony O'Connor finally goes to close him down. As he does, he unleashes a lovely strike to the bottom right hand corner, and he misses by the width of a post, thumps the bottom of James Belshaw's right hand post. Really good strike by Matteo Joseph.
But post and wide instead of post and in, and it's still Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0. Still Manchester City winning 2-0 against Salford City. That is on Sports Extra right now on your digital radio or via BBC Sounds. And I should mention that there is an FA Cup third round Saturday, 6:06 tonight, with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. I'll tell you when the lines are open. Back to Manchester City. Maz.
Manchester City have a third. Nico O'Reilly slotting in through a mass of bodies really in the Salford City area. Disappointing, I think, for Carl Robinson that his Salford City side couldn't get that one clear. But City have their third. Manchester City 3, Salford City 0. Couple of minutes to go till half-time.
Likewise here, Leeds United attacking. Solomon, who's been the danger man, turns, comes off the defender. Well, that is being contested by Toby Sims, but it's out. It's another corner. I make this number 8 in the first half for Leeds United. They've taken it short. Solomon has got it back. Right-footed ball whipped in towards the penalty spot. That's cleared away by Josh March towards the halfway line. Anywhere will do. It's almost like the final moments of the match. Never mind the final moments of the first half, but that'll do for Harrogate Town.
Yeah, desperately want the half-time whistle. Harrogate Town, they've hung in there and they've hung in there. Listen, from a Leeds United point of view, you can only think it's a matter of time. You can't have this much possession, this many opportunities, this many chances and not score. Harrogate are sitting deeper and deeper, inviting Leeds United onto them. We said it earlier in commentary, this is literally a training exercise, attack versus defence.
But Leeds not able to break through yet. Solomon's ball into the penalty area, bounces off Cornelius. Byram on the overlap. Solomon back centrally. Ampadu's ball to the edge of the area. That bounced off Ramazzani and Harrogate put it out for a throw on the far side. At half-time we will hear again from Plymouth's hero Morgan Whittaker, the man who scored the goal that won Plymouth the tie at Brentford. We'll also hear from Exeter's goal scorer Vincent Harper after they knocked out Oxford United of the Championship 3-1. You don't hear from too many Vincents, do you? Here is Ramazzani on the left-hand side. Ramazzani playing it back to the square pass. 1 minute of time to be added on, so we're into that now. It's played to Schmidt. Now Gnonto, 2 Harrogate players in front of him. The cross comes in, but he's got right underneath that and ballooned it beyond the far post and behind for a goal kick. So 0-0, just seconds left of the first half. And also at the break, we're going to hear from Enzo Maresca and Andoni Iraola after Chelsea and Bournemouth also booked their places in the fourth round. If you didn't hear it, by the way, the matches that went to extra time, Stoke City won 2-1 at Sunderland and Burnley won 3-1 at Reading. And it's worth pointing out again, you mentioned it, Paul, during the first half, no VAR at all in any match. So not even Arsenal-Manchester United tomorrow, even though it'll be sitting there in the stadium. It will not be used in the interests of consistency until all matches will then have it in the fifth round onwards, and no replays, remember, at this stage of the competition anymore. And with this scoreline, that's what we're heading for. Half time, it's 0-0. It's been all Leeds United. Harrogate did have the case for a penalty, but Leeds hitting the post through Joseph, and that's as close as they've come.
Yeah, from Harrogate's point of view, Simon Weaver will be absolutely delighted with what he's got from his team. The resilience, the defensive stability that they've shown. Toby Sims, Moon, O'Connor, Burrell as a back four, James Daly dropping in, making it a 5 at times. They've sat very deep, they've soaked up a lot of Leeds United pressure. Leeds have hit the post, they've had numerous corners, numerous chances. The quality that Leeds have got and the possession that they're having, you can't help but think it's only a matter of time. And when that time does come, you wonder if Harrogate have got a plan B, or whether they stick in and try and get something later on in the game. But at the moment, this is a game that you can only see Leeds winning. They're absolutely dominant, and the goal has got to come after half-time. Yeah,
and Leeds very much have a plan B, don't they, with Dan James on the bench and Aronson and Tanaka and many of the other first choices. Junior Firpo as well, coming back from injury among the substitutes. So that is a possibility in the second half. However, Harrogate are still alive in the FA Cup here at Elland Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Harrogate Town 0.
Temperature update, John, do we have an official figure on it at the moment? I think I heard Paul saying something like -3.
I need my temperature consultant.
Where is he?
He certainly hasn't got any warmer, put it that way.
Well, right. Producer Rob says that it's 1 degree.
Yeah, that's 1
degree. He says 1 degree feels like -3.
You know why that says 1 degree? Because it's been sat on his electric blanket like he has.
You lot sounding like the 3 degrees. I'll leave you to it. Get warm at half time. Looking forward to the second half. Leeds Harrogate. Second half commentary is on the way. After that, it's 6:06 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. FA Cup third round 6:06s are always great. Number to dial. Lines open 08085 909 693. And I know they'll definitely want to hear from those Plymouth fans. If you were at Brentford for the big win today, then give the guys a call. So Harrogate doing their job so far away at Leeds. Salford City from League Two haven't had quite as much success at the Etihad Stadium. This one's being watched by Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, quite, Ali. Nico O'Reilly putting the Premier League side Manchester City in control just before the break with their third goal. But at 2-0, There was a moment Salford City will wish perhaps they could have had another go at. Matty Lund not picked up in the area, finding Kevin Burko, but he could only hit the side netting. City's first 2 goals were scored by Jeremy Doku and then Divine Mubama, a first senior City goal for him to mark his first senior start. But in truth, the intensity of the game has gone through the floor since Manchester City went 2-0 up. But after what's been a difficult season so far, I'm sure Pep Guardiola might be happy of a drama-free second half. We will see. Half-time, Manchester City 3, Salford City 0.
And what about the game that kicked off at 6 o'clock? Still playing in the first half. This is Coventry against Sheffield Wednesday. Nick Hatton.
Yeah, Coventry City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Pretty uneventful first 20 minutes or so. Coming to life across the 23rd and 25th minute. Ellis Sims are into the box on the left-hand side. His shot forcing a good save out of Piers Charles. Second corner of the game for Coventry, though, saw them take the lead. Corner from the left-hand side. Ball bounced around the penalty area. And Liam Kitching on the half volley from 12 yards out, fired into the back of the net. Sheffield Wednesday have had their chances, but their final ball has been poor. We are 35 into this. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Fourth round of the Women's FA Cup this weekend. The holders Manchester United in action this evening at home to West Brom, being watched by Sani Rajavajala.
28 to go. Manchester United 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. There are 3 leagues separating these two, and Albion are part-time. So when all that's taken into consideration, considering it's only 1-0, it is some achievement. It's Melvin Mallard, who's just gone off, who got the opener. She's missed the hatful, actually. Rachel Williams, who got the goal to get them into the final and then scored in their final when they beat Tottenham last year, is on the pitch. So that's some positives for United. Still pushing for a second goal, and until that second goal comes, Albion are still in it. Manchester United 1, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Cup action in the Rugby Union as well today. Champions Cup, 5:30 kickoff. Munster against Saracens. Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, just underway in the second half, a minute in, and it's still Munster 3, Saracens 6. A more significant game for Munster to try and get something out of this in Pool 3. They've only picked up 1 win so far in the pool stage. And of course, this is all building towards the round of 16, where if you finished at the top of the draw, you're going to get a home match as well. Munster really need to try and get more out of this at the moment, and they've had opportunities that they really haven't been taking. Worth saying, only 3 teams so far across the whole competition after 3 games played have actually qualified for that next round. So that's Glasgow, Toulouse and Bordeaux. But Saracens looking strong at the moment to be another side that could qualify for that next round with a game in hand. Worth also saying that elsewhere right now, we know that Northampton, they're doing very well against Stade Francais. That would also put them through. So the first couple of English sides could be Saracens and Northampton in the next 40 minutes. But still, we know anything can happen. It's Munster 3, Saracens 6.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I've just seen it flash up on my screen. Converted try for Northampton to stretch the lead away to Stade Francais. Stade Francais 19, Northampton 28. Your FA Cup headlines so far today then. Brentford 0, Plymouth 1. Morgan Whittaker, the FA Cup hero, scoring the winner there 8 minutes from time in our commentary game at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Exeter City of League One into the 4th round for the first time in 44 years, beating Oxford United at the Championship 3-1 today. The 2 games that went to extra time. No replays, of course, this season. Stoke 2-1 winners at Sunderland. Stoke into the 4th round draw, and Burnley as well. They won away to Reading by 3-1. Also 3rd round wins today for Liverpool, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. Leicester stuck 6 past QPR. That finished 6-2. And all the Bs after that: Bournemouth, Brighton, Burnley, Blackburn and Birmingham. Reaction on the way after the BBC News with Dan Maudsley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good evening. Officials in Los Angeles say the strong winds that have spread wildfires over a wide area are likely to continue for several more days. 11 people are known to have died and 13 others are missing. The Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, has held talks in Beijing aimed at improving economic ties with China. The Treasury says agreements have been reached covering financial services, investment and climate issues. Opposition parties have criticised the timing. A man has died while trying to reach the UK in a small boat. French media say he was from Syria. More than 30 others were rescued after the boat got into difficulty overnight. And the father of Molly Russell, the teenager who took her own life after seeing harmful content online, has appealed to the Prime Minister to tighten rules that protect children. Ian Russell told the BBC the UK was going backwards on the issue.
The Traitors is back, and so is that mysterious cloaked figure with the familiar fringe.
Yeah? It's me.
And when you've watched Claudia in the Castle, join me, Ed Gamble, for the official Visualised Companion podcast.
And remember, I'll be listening.
Okay.
No, seriously, I love it.
What a faithful. We'll unpack betrayals and spill scandalous secrets with celeb guests, traitors legends, and murdered and banished players. The Traitors Uncloaked. Watch on iPlayer, listen for more on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Alistair Bruce Ball.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Here is Whittaker cutting inside. Whittaker coming in from that right touch line, going into a central area. Left-footed shot! Oh, what a goal by Morgan Whittaker! Plymouth Argyle with 8 minutes remaining might well be knocking out Brentford. 41 years ago they last knocked out top flight opposition. Whittaker kept on going and he finds the bottom left-hand corner, much to the delight of the travelling Plymouth support. Brentford 0, Plymouth 1.
That's what the FA Cup sounds like at its very, very best. So Morgan Whittaker, the Plymouth hero today, here is what he made of it all.
I think that's what the FA Cup's all about. I think there's always one upset, and I think that's what we tried to be today, and luckily it happened. But Brentford, we knew their quality, but we just knew if we stuck together and played our game as well, that hopefully we get a moment that we could win the game, and that happened.
Talk us through your goal.
I just kept going and going and going. I scored a similar one like that for Lincoln against Charlton, and I just kept going and going and going, and luckily I just got enough space just to shoot, and I saw it going and I was just buzzing.
Did you know it was going in the moment it left your foot? Because it was right in the corner.
I don't know. I think it's because I got a good angle. As soon as I shot, I looked up. I thought, yeah, I've got a good chance here. And then it just went in. I think there's one of our players was just in front of it, and I was hoping he didn't touch it. But yeah, when it went in, I was just buzzing.
How long did the last 10 minutes feel? It must have. I saw your manager. He was pacing up and down on the touchline. What did it feel like for you?
Yeah, an eternity. I think once we scored the goal, I think we knew how the game would go. Just be constant pressure from them. But we just had to dig in, and then obviously when 6 minutes goes up, you know, when a lot of other time comes up, normally there's a late goal, but we just stuck at it and luckily we got the win.
And they brought on the cavalry, didn't they, for that last few minutes?
Yeah, well, that happened to us last season against Crystal Palace, the same. We was winning 2-0 and they brought on their big boys, and then we ended up, I think, losing 3-2. So once they come on, we just had to keep calm and keep playing our game, and that was the main thing, and we did that.
And finally, who do you want in the next round? Who do you want in the hat tomorrow?
It's got to be a big one at home.
Anyone?
Man U.
Morgan Whittaker in conversation with George Cummins. Wants Manchester United in the 4th round draw. They're away at Arsenal tomorrow. It kicks off at 3 o'clock. You can watch that game on BBC One, and the 4th round draw will come directly after that. So Plymouth are through, Brentford are out. Here's the Brentford boss, Thomas Frank.
First and foremost, congratulations to Plymouth. I think they did well. I think it was a well-deserved win. Of course, we had the ball a lot and tried a lot, but in the end of the day they won 1-0 and we didn't create enough, and they scored a good goal. We take a great finish. We knew that he could do that, and we knew that we had to close it down, and we didn't in that situation. So congratulations to Plymouth. I think, yeah, well deserved. Of course, disappointed, hugely disappointed. On the day we didn't hit a good enough performance, especially didn't play quick enough, didn't have the cutting edge either on the cross or the pass, or enough players in the box at the right time and the timing. So in the end of the day, yeah, we couldn't win.
Are you frustrated because you've been so good here, you've been so good in the league, that you've probably blown a good opportunity that you could have had a good cup run? Yeah.
I'm frustrated that we blow a good opportunity, definitely, because we should have won today. So, yeah, definitely.
The other 3rd round upset today so far came at St James's Park, where League One beat Championship. Vincent Harper scored Exeter City's 3rd goal as they saw off Oxford United by 3-1 after the game. He spoke to Sarah Mulkerrins.
Well, Vincent, that victory must feel so sweet, and particularly for your performance, assist, and then also scoring the final goal.
Yeah, obviously going into this game we knew how much it meant, not just to the players but the fans. It's been 44 years, and to win today is obviously massive, and buzzing we could accomplish that.
How much does that history weigh on your minds as players?
Yeah, massive. Obviously going into the season we want to accomplish things and be that team that everyone remembers. So doing that today, yes, we're in the history books, aren't we? So buzzing with that.
And what about your coach, the manager, Gary Caldwell? He's done it before. He's been able to win the FA Cup with Wigan. How inspiring is he?
Yeah, massive. Obviously, we had great match prep, and obviously Gaffer's played in this competition as well, so he's installed how much it means to the club and how much it should mean to us as well. So we went out there and gave our hearts out and got the win.
Right, Exeter fans, lines are open for 606. The number to dial to chat to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage tonight is 08085 909 693. I'm doing Robbie's job for him there. Robbie is here. Robbie, who do you want to hear from this evening on 606?
Happy New Year, ABB. I've not spoken to you.
Happy New Year to you. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, very well. Good after a win for my side, ABB. What a win for Plymouth. Brentford at home, are brilliant. Morgan Whittaker with a winning goal. Plymouth fans, give us a call, 08285 909 693. Exeter, you said it's a big win for them. And I want to speak to West Ham fans. Graham Potter last night thought they played well. How on earth is that a corner? It's absolutely ridiculous. That decision changed the course of the game. Well done to Aston Villa. And Everton fans, what's the feeling amongst Everton fans, ABB? David Moyes' return, how do they feel about that? There's so much to talk about. Norwich, what about Norwich, ABB? 4-0 at home, wow, Chris. No wonder he's not doing the trail.
I'm looking forward to hearing Chris on that, Robbie.
Yeah, we are. Listen, we're here until at 7:45, I think, ABB, until 9. Okay. 08285 909 693. There's not been no real shocks except for Plymouth, hasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Lines are open. Get your calls in. Robbie and Chris taking the calls tonight. Big FA Cup afternoon for Plymouth Argyle. They are through to the fourth round with the win at Brentford. 6 o'clock kick-off in the third round tonight. Coventry against Sheffield Wednesday. Latest from Nick Hatton.
Still Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 into 2 minutes of stoppage time. That goal coming from Liam Kitching 25 minutes in. Since then, Brandon Thomas Asante and Victor Torp have both fired over for Coventry. Sheffield Wednesday still to register an effort on goal. It's Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Next stop, Lee Sports Village, Women's FA Cup fourth round. The holders Manchester United against West Brom. Sani Rajavajula.
73 gone, Manchester United 1, West Brom 0. That goal from Melvin Mallard, the distance. Rachel Williams, the sub, with a header just now, just wide. And just a very quick one, Anna Miller, the American keeper of West Brom, has done really well today, but she got injured in the last round. Albion don't have a sub-keeper. Fullback captain Hannah George had to go in goal. That might have to happen. She's had a few times she's gone down today. On her feet at the moment. That's one to keep an eye on. Manchester United 1, West Brom 0.
In the Rugby Union, Stade Francais back in front now against Northampton. Some game this. They lead 31-28 in the second half. What about Munster Saracens, Sarah Orchard?
Big hush going around Thomond Park as Jack Crowley lines one up to try and get closer to Saracens. Not to be there. It remains Munster 3, Saracens 9. 51 minutes on the clock. It's the away side who are prevailing for the time being. Munster trying everything, but so far all about Saracens. Munster 3, Saracens 9.
Lines open for 606. One more reminder of the number, 08085 909 693 to get your calls in. FA Cup highlights, 10:30 BBC One tonight. 2 commentaries on 5 Live tomorrow from the FA Cup. Tamworth against Tottenham, Newcastle against Bromley, Arsenal against Manchester United is on BBC One. And at the moment, goalless at Ellen Road. Championship leaders Leeds against Harrogate Town. Second half commentary with Paul Robinson and John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Ali. The players sprinted out into the cold night air inside Elland Road here to the southwest of Leeds city centre, and it is Harrogate Town who get us underway in the second half. League 2 Harrogate Town fighting against relegation from the Football League against Leeds United, who have the target of promotion to the Premier League this season. And although Leeds had so much of the game in the first half and a number of opportunities, Matteo Joseph hit the post in the latter part of the first half. It is still 0-0. No changes to the sides that started the match. So Leeds with Darlow in goal. Mellier's among the substitutes here. Then a back four of Schmidt, Giavolgi, Strauch and Byram. Rothwell and Ampadu in midfield. And then Nyonto, Solomon, Ramazzani and Joseph. And Harrogate Town on the back foot here, as they were during the course of most of the first half, with Nyonto running at them, but that breaks down and it's back to the halfway line. Harrogate Town with Belshaw in goal, the back four of Sims, O'Connor, Moon and Burrell, and then Cornelius, Morris, Sutton, Daly, James Daly, March and Muldoon. And I said to you at half time, Paul Robinson, that really for most of the first half. It was almost 4-6-0 for Harrogate Town.
Yeah, it was, sitting very deep in a defensive structure.
Here they come. Ramazzani though for Leeds. It might reach Schmidt. No, instead James Daly was able to get a touch, bring it down and put it out for a throw.
And the second half begun pretty much how the first ended. Everybody camped inside the defensive third of Harrogate Town. But the longer the game goes, Harrogate will throw caution to the wind. They'll throw bodies forward and they'll just get the scent and maybe an upset the longer it goes without Leeds scoring.
We just heard from Nick Hatton before Ali Bruce Ball handed back to us. It is now half-time. Coventry City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 in the 6 o'clock kickoff. Manchester City 3-0 up. They'll be into the second half there at the Etihad. Here's Ramazzani for Leeds, who are attacking towards the packed Revy stand to our left. Again, another part of Elland Road that really hasn't changed much over the years. All of those faces there in the lower section and the upper section, the stanchions towards the back of the stand. Harrogate Town are able to scramble it away again, but it's taken on by the Leeds captain Ampadu, and he passes it to Ramazzani. Ramazzani now takes on Cornelius, takes it to the byline, looks to cross it, and even though Toby Sims was sliding in, it was straight behind from Ramazzani, and it's a goal kick for Harrogate Town, 0-0.
Again, just a similar story to the first half. You know, Leeds getting into that final third. Ramazzani again getting into dangerous areas, dangerous positions. That time a crossing position from the 18-yard line, gets it all wrong, goes out at the near post. Having so much good possession, Leeds, without having actually creating any clear-cut opportunities apart from that Mateo Joseph shot that hit the foot of the post.
Yep. I heard Ali say at half-time that Exeter City are into the fourth round for the first time for 44 years. Harrogate Town have never been there. So this match here today against near neighbours Leeds United, this is quite simply one of the biggest matches they've ever been involved in. And right now they're standing up and being counted. But they're going to have to withstand some pressure here. And if you weren't listening in the first half, Leeds United have got a very strong bench. And if he needs to, Daniel Farker down there with his long shoulder-length head tied back, I'm sure he'll use them. Leeds 0, Harrogate Town 0. Schmidt overhits his pass down the right. Burrell is hoping, and it does. He's able to shepherd it behind for a goal kick. So 0-0 here, and it is now half-time. Am I right in saying at Manchester United West Brom? Oh no, there's been a goal in the Manchester United West Brom tie in the Women's FA Cup. I can hear you chuckling away, Sammy.
Bit of a time warp there. 77 gone. Manchester United, the holders, do have a second, and now they have a third as well. Rachel Williams heading in from across from the left-hand side, and that certainly will seal it. It was Williams who's claimed the second goal as well. That header was on the bar and then Bizet on the rebound, but she's definitely got this one. It's now Manchester United 3, West Bromwich Albion 0.
We'll have a stoppage in play here because Cornelius has gone down flat on his face in the centre circle, so it's a little stoppage before play gets underway. So lines are open for 606 if you're on your way back from any of the matches this afternoon. Certainly if you're a Plymouth Argyle fan, Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton would love to hear from you. 606 will be on from round about 7:45. 08085 909 693 to book your call. Text 85058. And you have a choice of listening right now. Manchester City Salford is on Sports Extra. You can watch that on BBC One, and indeed if you're on your way home you can watch this as well. It's on the BBC iPlayer. Cornelius is okay, and Leeds have got the ball rolling again. Already 5 minutes into the second half, and Giavogi will play it forward over the halfway line, then gets it back from Gnonto, and then all the way back to Strauch. Let's see how things have started in the second half at Manchester City. Maz Faruqi.
We have played 2.5 minutes, John, and Jack Grealish has gone down in a big heap in the centre of the Salford City area. I'm not sure what the referee has signalled, but Manchester City making a change at half-time as well. Kanji replacing Nathan Ake. It is still Manchester City 3, Salford City 0, and they might, I think here actually, be about to take a penalty, but I will keep you posted.
OK, we will be back to you. A rare Harrogate attack while we were hearing from Maz. Cornelius desperately busting a gut to try and get there, but the defender I think got a touch, took the power off his shot, and it was an easy take for Darlow.
Yeah, you can hear the frustration creeping into the Leeds United fans behind me. Cornelius gets into the Leeds United box on the break. It was Josh March who did all the work, broke up possession in the middle of the park, played Cornelius in down the right hand side, gets half a shot, a deflected shot goes into Carl Darlow's hands,
as Harrogate Town break again, and more frustration from the Leeds United supporters. Josh March tries the shot from the angle, but it was blocked immediately behind by Ampadu. But Harrogate Town have a corner, their first corner, and their supporters, they're warming their hands and applauding in that section.
Growing in confidence. The message from Simon Weaver obviously has been more of the same, but be a little bit more adventurous. Already 2 corners in this second half.
We'll beat to Manchester City again in a moment or two, but Harrogate Town have a corner. So this is a big moment in this match. A corner from the right-hand side. James Daly is encouraged by the fans of the Sulphurites, as is Harrogate Town's nickname. Well, you don't hear it used too often. So the corner from James Daly. Left-footed swung into the back post. Darlow's come, he's lost it, and the ball bounces down and is cleared away out towards the halfway line for a throw-in to Harrogate. Nyonto was able to clear. So come in again, Maz Faruqi.
And it was a penalty for Manchester City, won by Grealish, converted by Grealish, sending the keeper the wrong way, slotted inside the bottom left-hand corner. So that's a 4th for Manchester City. Man City 4, Salford City 0, 50 minutes played here.
And a very rare Manchester City goal for Jack Grealish. So 4-0 it is. Manchester City on their way through. Coventry winning 1-0 against Sheffield Wednesday. Still 0-0 here, but Harrogate Town are having their best spell of the match so far. Muldoon into the penalty area, plays the ball into the body of Strout, might have struck an arm, cleared back to the left hand side, then in comes the cross, but Darlow is able to catch it, and Muldoon certainly shouting for a handball and a penalty.
Well, they've come to the party now, Harrogate. They've certainly come out the traps in the second half. Jack Muldoon running into the box there. Pascal Stroik too close to him, Harms by his side. Looking at the replay, Jack Muldoon's flicked it with the outside of his right boot. It's hit the midriff of Pascal Stroik rather than his hand. But you can just hear those Harrogate supporters getting more and more noisy.
Yeah, I think it deflected, didn't it, off his midriff onto his arm, which was down by his side. So I think right decision. If James Bell saw it, there's no VAR. Remember, here's Nyonto, right decision. Harrogate also had a shout in the first half, could have been given. Personally, I think it was the right decision not to give it. Nyonto, then to Schmidt, but sliding in, Daly is able to put it out for a throw to Leeds down the right-hand side, and it remains 0-0.
Just opening up slightly, isn't it? Harrogate taking more opportunities to go forward on the turnover of possession.
However, you know what that could mean at the other end. If it is opening up, that means Leeds might have a little more space at the other end if they're able to get the ball back, which they have with Byram now. Byram, here's Solomon just down in front of us, the on loan Tottenham man. Solomon with Cornelius and Sims in front of him. Then Byram rides the challenge from Sims, and then Byram gives it back to Solomon, who shoots and clips the top of the crossbar. From here, we had a brilliant view of this, didn't we? I mean, it's right down in front of us here, our position very much left of centre. I have to say, I thought that was bound for the far top corner.
It was a lovely strike, wasn't it? Sam Byram does brilliantly well down the left-hand side, pulls it back to Mana Solomon just inside the box. First touch is outstanding, gets it out of his feet, and he curls it around all the defenders, and it looks for all the world. It's going into James Belshaw's top left-hand corner, clips the top of the bar and goes harmlessly over.
Still 0-0 then. Let's get another update from the Champions Cup Rugby Union. Sarah Orchard is monitoring Munster Saracens.
And for the first time, Munster go in the lead. It's now Munster 10, Saracens 9, 61 minutes on the clock. A real strong period for Munster. They come away with the try. It was their loose head prop, Deanne Blula, who eventually managed to sneak over the line. Conversion added by Jack Crowley. Munster 10, Saracens 9, 61 minutes played.
And in that group, Stade Francais 38, Northampton 28 now. And in the Challenge Cup, the latest, Ospreys 21, Newcastle 10. It's still not full-time in the Manchester United West Brom Women's FA Cup tie, but there has been another goal. Sani Rudravajala.
5 to go. United 4, West Brom 0. Ella Toon out injured for 2 months. Great effort from her from a corner just inside the area. Curling effort. Manchester United 4, West Bromwich Albion 0.
James Daly on the left for Harrogate Town near the corner flag, tries to cross. That was blocked by Schmidt. It lands for Strouk, who just dwelt on the ball, and a chance for March, but the shot is saved by Darlow down to his right. It bounced onto him. Strout was too casual there. Challenge came in, and March with the shot, close but saved.
Yeah, James Daly working really hard down that left-hand side, putting the pressure on Pascal Stroik, closing him down. Comes to Josh March, side foot, 18 yards out, He's got his head in his hands because he knows he probably should have tested Carl Darlow more than he did. It was a comfortable save for Leeds United goalkeeper, low down to his right-hand side, but another opportunity coming for Harrogate.
Yep, clear chance, but at the other end, Schmidt with the cross, but the flag's up. Before he crossed it, it was over the line. In any case, Ramazani strikes the ball into the net, hence the cheer that you can hear there. But the flag had long gone up, and Schmidt is saying, surely that wasn't over the line.
Well, they're growing in confidence, Harrogate, aren't they? They're coming more and more into this game. You can see the message that he's given them at half-time. Cornelius attacking more down the right-hand side. Josh March, James Daly putting the pressure on, getting an opportunity there. You just wonder what Leeds United are going to do. They're going to look to pick holes in this defence as Harrogate open up more. As you rightfully say, it will leave Leeds more opportunity, more holes and more spaces to attack.
Paul Robinson, former player of the year round here, Champions League player as well. Remember those days very fondly, as I'm sure you do too. As Leeds United trying to get back to the proverbial top table this season, win a free kick on the halfway line.
Yeah, player of the year for a goalkeeper is not normally a good thing, is it? It means you've been busy, doesn't it?
Let's not underplay it, Paul. Lines are open for 606 08 085 909 693. Lots more live sport as well tonight through the night. Leicester Ulster from 8 o'clock is on Sports Extra. The Women's Ashes starts tonight. That's on Sports Extra from 11 o'clock. First one-day international live from Sydney through the night. It's the first night of the Australian Open tennis tonight. So you'll hear lots of that over the course of the next couple of weeks. Live from Melbourne, 7 o'clock in the morning, tennis breakfast. And then after weekend breakfast in the morning on 5 Live, Colin Murray, 10 o'clock. Great football songbook, 10:30. I don't know what it's going to be in the morning. It's an excellent feature though. So listen out for that. And then 7 more FA Cup ties tomorrow. The first one that you'll hear will be Tamworth Tottenham, live from the Lamb, but live from Elland Road. It's 0-0 and Leeds are on the attack with Solomon up against Cornelius, goes past him, ball across the penalty area, simple header, Ramazani, and it is 1-0 to Leeds United. Almost an hour played, but Leeds have the breakthrough, and the Championship leaders 1-0 up on League 2 Harrogate Town.
And it's the best player on the pitch, Manus Solomon on the left-hand side again. He turns provider this time, he lifts it up into the middle, and it's a free header for Ramazani in the middle of the goal. Manus Solomon does really well down this left-hand side. Leeds work it over. Pascal Stroik plays the ball into Solomon. Still got a lot of work to do. One-on-one with his defender. Drives into the box, lifts it into the middle of the box. Ramazani 6 yards out, completely unmarked, which is unlike Harrogate for this game because they've been good defensively. Ramazani finds himself with the freedom of the 6-yard box, heads into an empty net to give Leeds a deserved lead.
Yes, and Solomon on the left found himself up against Cornelius rather than Sims, and beat him easily on the outside and the left foot cross. I mean, he's been putting in some very good balls during the course of the match, Solomon. Sooner or later, probably one of them was going to lead to a goal, and it just has. And now Leeds, already 1-0 up, are after a second. It's Solomon again. This time he is up against Toby Sims. However, he's on his left foot, tries to chip it across, but that's cleared away by O'Connor on the corner of the 6-yard box. If Leeds are able to find a second now, that's probably tie over. In the Rugby Union, there's been another try though in the Munster Saracens match. Sarah Orchard. We'll get to Sarah when we can. In fact,
66 minutes on the clock.
Sarah.
It's Munster 17, Saracens 9. A second try for Munster, this time through John Hodnett, made by Jack Crowley. Crossfield kick, and Hodnett goes over in the corner with a roly-poly just for a flourish. Saracens got a lot of work to do now. Munster 17, Saracens 9.
Thanks, Sarah. 1-0 to Leeds United then. Leeds United now on course for the 4th round of the FA Cup. But Schmidt across for Leeds into the D. Nyonto with a shot, that's blocked by Moon. And Harrogate were able to come out with the ball with Muldoon, who couldn't find the pass for March, and it comes back at Harrogate, and then Sutton slides into that feet first. He took the ball though, Mateo Joseph to Schmidt, and then Leeds go back towards Rothwell, who was forward of the centre circle. Strauch, seemingly almost always available, the tall Strauch, jet black hair, passes it to the left hand side. Solomon's trying to go between Sims and Cornelius. He's done well. Then he tried a Zidane roll for good measure inside the penalty area, perhaps a little too confident. That didn't come off.
He's full of confidence, Manor Solomon, isn't he? He's absolutely flying down this left-hand side.
Giavogi, though, is in trouble against Marsh downfield, but the referee James Bell says that March was fouling Giavogi and actually ends up virtually lying on top of him. Free kick to Leeds.
He's not looked comfortable, Giavogi, there, one-on-one with March. He gets fairly fortunate there. Free kick from the referee. March is causing himself real problems one-on-one. Just a long, hopeful ball down the pitch. The pair of them having a wrestle and a fight to get to the ball. Looking at the replay, referee's got the right decision, but March is a real thorn in his side.
Manchester City still 4-0 up on Salford City. Coventry 1-0 up on Sheffield Wednesday. Manchester United's women coasting through in the Women's FA Cup. Sani Radravajala.
They are now, yes. 7 minutes of injury time added on, and they've managed to add a fifth goal here. It was 1-0 after 77. It's 5-0 now against the part-time West Brom. Celine Bizet with the fifth. Manchester United 5, West Brom 0.
Yes, Harrogate Town were part-timers when Simon Weaver took over back in 2009 when the club had 7 season ticket holders. Here's Joseph on the edge of the box, but it runs away and Daly's able to pass it back to Belshaw, who clears. 7 season ticket holders, crowds of 200 or 300 back in those days in what was then Conference North, so what is now National League North. But they've built and built and built, and as I say, what we're seeing here is as big a game as they've ever been involved in.
Well, they're a great story, aren't they, Harrogate Town? Father and son, chairman and manager, I mean, harmoniously in that relationship for a long, long time now. As you say, Simon Weaver, one of the longest serving managers in the league, 2 promotions, an FA trophy, the way they built the club, not just the club but the stadium, the infrastructure, and like you say, so long in non-league football, now established itself as a solid League 2 club.
Yes, and they've got a free kick centre field, and I think that's the first yellow card of the match as well, that's been shown to Rothwell for the challenge, and it's a free kick to Harrogate Town 5 yards inside the Leeds United half, and the past timers of West Brom have really capitulated in the latter stages. Manchester United's women now 6-0 up in that FA Cup tie with only a few moments to go. A change coming for Leeds United, and it's going to be the Japanese midfielder Ao Tanaka who is going to come on. A double change actually. Also Joe Rodon is going to come on. Free kick for Harrogate Town then. Deep into the area, O'Connor with a header across the box, but then a stretch and a header away by Byram, and then Nyonto is able to get it away from Burrell. Burrell's able to recover partly, but now Joseph takes it up. Leeds sweeping forward, but Joseph wasn't able to find the pass to Solomon, and Levi Sutton wins the throw-in near the halfway line. You mentioned Irving Weaver, the chairman, the millionaire chairman of Harrogate Town, the father of Simon, the manager. There's also Dorothy as well, Irving's wife, who makes cakes for the players to eat on their way back from away matches. For this one, you'd need tiny little cupcakes, wouldn't you, to eat on the way back to Harrogate. Right, a couple of changes now being made. Strauch is being substituted, and Joe Rothwell as well from the midfield. So Tanaka coming on into the midfield, and Joe Rodon, who actually until today has started every match for Leeds this season, the Welsh international. Now he's back on the field.
Yeah, straight substitutions for Daniel Farke and Leeds United, like for like. Stroik off, Rodon on. Stroik coming back from injury, obviously getting to the 65-minute mark, wanted to get an hour under his belt, and then Rothwell just got himself booked. Straight swap for Tanaka, so formation stays the same, slight change in personnel.
Leeds United 1, Harrogate Town 0. Still 4-0 Manchester City, still 1-0 Coventry City. And yes, tomorrow here on 5 Live, Tamworth Tottenham from 12:30. All the build-up actually as well. We'll get all of the flavour of that. Steve Crossman is going to be there with us at the Lamb. New ground for me.
I'm going to say you're looking forward to that, John.
Well, it's a red letter day these days. To go to a new ground doesn't happen that often. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and to seeing if he's fit and selected. The long throws of Tommy Tonks. See what Tottenham do with those.
You've certainly done your homework and had to for that one.
Another goal at Manchester City, Maz Faruqi.
McAtee is celebrating. He enjoyed that, scoring City's fifth. Doku setting him up, making the burst of speed down the right this time. So Manchester City 5, Salford City 0, 63 minutes played.
Yeah, it gives you a clear idea of the sort of team that Pep Guardiola has picked today when you see the goal scorers are Doku, Mubama, O'Reilly, Grealish with the penalty, and McAtee. It's a bit of talk of McAtee perhaps moving on, isn't there, this month? As Solomon with a stretch can't keep the ball in, and it's a throw into Harrogate Town, who are still in this 1-0 down, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely still in, hence the reason that he hasn't changed the tactics. Game's taken very much a similar shape the whole way through, and Simon Weaver's now obviously of the thinking, look, 1-0 down, we're still in this game. The longer this game goes, it's still only 1-0, we can get down the other end, have an opportunity, maybe a set play, maybe a breakaway. 2-0, 3-0, obviously the game's done, it's out of their reach, but at the moment stay in it, try and take the game deep into as far as you can go with it, and then start taking more chances. At the moment they don't need to take many chances.
That is Paul Robinson, the East Yorkshireman, watching the match between the West Yorkshire and North Yorkshire teams. Here is Joseph bringing the ball in from the left, goes for the shot, but it comes off the body of O'Connor, which took it well wide of the far post and behind for what is Leeds' first corner of the second half. And Manchester United now 7-0 up against West Brom in the Women's FA Cup. Corner to Leeds.
Yeah, good block that time by Anthony O'Connor. Matteo Joseph cutting into the box on his right foot. Anthony O'Connor almost turned his back on it, come off his right, outside of his right boot. Gives Leeds another corner on that far side.
So the right-footed delivery from Solomon from over there on the far side, swung towards the back post. I thought it might have gone out. It did go out. Sort of swung out of play and then back in play. So it's a goal kick to Harrogate Town. So 1-0 it is. They took a record number of buses, Harrogate Town, to bring their supporters here for this match. So all of those 15 miles. And it is the first time that these teams have played each other in a competitive match, although I did see that my friend Phil Annett, who is FA Cup fact file on social media, said that Leeds United were due to play the then Harrogate FC in 1920 in Leeds' first season in the FA Cup in the first qualifying round, but Leeds United withdrew from the FA Cup because they'd been promoted to the Football League and they had to play a league fixture that day. So a little known withdrawal from the FA Cup in the dim and distant past.
That's very good knowledge, going about a long way.
Well, give credit to Phil for knowing that. A couple of changes coming for Harrogate Town. It is now full time in the Manchester United West Brom Women's FA Cup tie. Sani Rodravagula.
Yeah, United 7, West Brom 0. Really harsh on Albion, but the holders coast through, and including in those goals a hat-trick of headers from Rachel Williams off the bench. Celine Bizet rounding up the scoring. She got 2 in the end. Melvie Mallard with the opener. Albion, the part-timers, did the best for so long as it was 1-0, but it's finished Manchester United 7, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Long throw for Harrogate Town into the Leeds box, and it's headed up and behind by Rodon. So a corner, a second corner for Harrogate Town. Simon Weaver is going to make a couple of changes. Sam Fullerene, who's a forward, is going to come on. Alice Taylor as well into the midfield, but they're just waiting, trying to keep themselves warm. Huge plumes of steaming breath rising from them as they just move from foot to foot. So a corner for Harrogate from the left-hand side. In it comes to the edge of the 6-yard box, bounces down, it's a scramble, but Leeds are able to clear it. Comes out to Sutton, his shot, that's deflected away across the penalty area. O'Connor gets there first. Still O'Connor taking it out towards the corner flag and then draws the challenge, which he does get, puts it out of play. Schmidt for a throw into Harrogate down the right. Panic stations there for a moment for Leeds.
Yep, there's a warning for Leeds United if they needed one. It's a lovely ball in from the left-hand side, right-footed in swing. It causes absolute bedlam in the Leeds United box. It's an old-fashioned goal-mile scramble. Eventually Leeds United get it away, but it's come for a throw-in down this left-hand side, and it's Toby Sims who all of a sudden he's found this long throw that are hurling into Leeds' box.
And here's another one from Sims to the near post. Attempted flick on. Leeds are able to head it away. Joseph then gets another header on for Leeds to the halfway line. It was a scramble sort of on the edge of and inside the 6-yard box. It just needed for Harrogate Town to fall to a player in a yellow and black shirt. It didn't. However, another long ball forward. Schmidt, a little hesitation from him under pressure from March, and in the end he's able to turn and put it out for a throw down the left-hand side.
Yep, going longer, a lot more direct, long throw-ins, corners, everything going into the Leeds United box. Throwing caution to the wind now, Harrogate Town into the last 20 minutes. 2 substitutions coming up from Simon Weaver. Not his last roll of the dice, but you can see that he's going to have a go now. They're not going to go down with a whimper. They're certainly going to go down giving it all that they've got and having a go at Leeds United.
Well, it is the aging Jack Muldoon who is called first and applauds towards the Harrogate Town corner of Elland Road, and Dean Cornelius as well, making his way from the midfield. He's taken a couple of batterings, Cornelius. So Ellis Taylor, the former Sunderland youngster, is coming on into the midfield, and Sam following up front. So it's a corner. It's one of those long throws that Toby Sims is winding up for, over there, right up against the hoardings in front of the Jack Charlton stand, packed behind him. Up he comes. Here's the long throw to the near post, attempted flick on. 2 Leeds United players are there, then Schmidt is underneath it to head it further away. Comes out to Sutton. Sutton drags it away from Yonso, wants the free kick, does get the free kick, so Harrogate will organise themselves here while they do that. Back to Manchester City, Maz Faruqi.
Jeremy Doku has his second goal of this match. Manchester City 6th. Another penalty for the Premier League side. Handball in the Salford City area. And Jeremy Doku makes no mistake converting from the spot. So it's Man City 6, Salford City 0. 70 minutes played now.
6-0 now. I suspect Maz will be reaching for the FA Cup record books very shortly, if it gets any worse for Salford City. Here, just the one goal and a free kick as well for Harrogate on the left. A chance to really test Leeds United here, and they've posed some questions over the course of the last 10 minutes or so. The referee is just going across there to speak to Byram, who's the nearest to the penalty spot. And here's the delivery for Harrogate. Comes off a Leeds head, which took it right across to the far side. Then a shot from Toby Sims at the back post that hit the body of a Leeds United player as he was falling over, which took it wide. I think that was on target, and the Leeds player has prevented it from flying into the net.
Certainly has, John. It was Isaac Schmidt at the far post. Really well worked corner by Harrogate Town, flicking at the near post, looping header to the far post, volley by the Harrogate Town attacker, and Isaac Schmidt puts his body on the line, concedes another corner.
Yep, another corner. Harrogate Town really testing Leeds here. Comes this delivery, but too close to Darlow, who just moved into position and caught the ball, even though there were bodies all around him.
Yeah, good goalkeeping by Carl Darlow on numerous occasions there. Long throw-ins, balls into the box. Leeds United have struggled and looked nervy at times, but the goalkeeper comes out there, catches the ball, sets everybody at ease. Leeds United again now in comfortable possession in their own half. But Harrogate, they're certainly not going away.
They're not. With this scoreline, they're going out, but they're not going away. Harrogate Town, never been in the 4th round of the FA Cup, as O'Connor was rather uncomfortable on the ball in the right back position, off balance, couldn't keep it in play, throw in 2 Leeds. And there have been some anxious moments in the second half for the Leeds United supporters. Almost 40,000 people inside the famous Elland Road, that towering stand that you see if you're on the train on the East Coast Main Line as you leave Elland Road, or indeed if you're on the motorway. And just catching my eye on the far side, first time this season in the 3rd round, I've seen the famous cardboard cutout of the FA Cup. It's glinting there, aluminium foil wrapped around it, the very front row, as it has just been hoisted up and down, probably by a young supporter. Leeds United coming forward again. Solomon now to Byram. This is all on the left hand side. Solomon, who set up the only goal so far, draws the challenge that puts it behind, as the challenge came in from Sutton for a corner to Leeds, and Sutton I think has got a little bit of cramp. So Wiley is down, I think, before the corner is taken. Let's go back to Maz Faruqi at Manchester City.
Another goal from McAtee in this match. The League Two sides defence getting tired. They didn't pick up Foden, picking out McAtee. Another one for him in this match. 7-0 now. Manchester City leads Salford City here.
7-0 now. Coventry still 1-0, Nick Hatton.
Yeah, still Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. They nearly doubled their lead just a moment ago. Brilliant save from 19-year-old Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper Piers Charles. 2 saves in quick succession. The first from a close range header from Ellis Sims. He then got up to block the follow-up from 6 yards out. Before that, both Sims and Thomas Asante missing headers from 6 yards out, while Michael Ehekwe missed a golden opportunity to equalise for Wednesday. Free header, 6 yards out, over the bar. Coventry still lead by a goal to 0.
Leeds leading by a goal to 0. Lagi Ramazzani in the 59th minute from the Solomon cross. Play still hasn't resumed because Sutton is sitting down on the pitch, so the Harrogate Town physio Rachel Davis is is giving him some treatment, and even though he's only a yard away from the dead ball line, I think the referee is saying now, yeah, you're going to have to leave the field. And actually they're going to make the change anyway. Stephen Dooley is going to come on to replace him in the midfield, the Northern Irishman, experienced player Stephen Dooley. And here he comes. You might remember he picked up a nasty injury in the Gainsborough tie when he fell off the pitch and actually cut himself, but he's okay. Great to see him coming back on into the action in the third round, and Leeds are going to bring on Dan James and Junior Firpo now as well. So Sam Byram is first to make way. So Junior Firpo, well, you can hear they're pleased to see him back. Paul, 7 matches out with a hamstring injury, the former Barcelona man, and arguably the player of the season in the Championship, Dan James. Yeah. Certainly a leading light for Leeds United.
Certainly shows you the strength and depth of the bench and the squad that's at the disposal of Daniel Farke. That's Firpo slotting in at left back. Junior Firpo has been excellent this season. Maybe not so much in the Premiership, but been excellent this season. Out of contract, to be interesting to see what Leeds United do with his contract situation this summer.
And it's Mano Solomon, the man who set up the goal, who's gone off. So Ramazani with the corner from the left-hand side for Leeds United, and I'm not sure anyone got a touch. It was kept in by Leeds on the far side by Joseph, who wins a throw-in next to the corner flag. So Dan James is on, another of the Welsh internationals, this strong Welsh contingent that they have at Leeds United. There's a long tradition, of course, isn't there, Paul, with Leeds United and Wales, as Leeds take the throw and go back towards the halfway line. Let's get news on Munster Saracens in the Champions Cup, because the final whistle has gone, Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, it's all over in this Pool 3 clash, and it's Munster that come away with the win, 17 points to 12. They scored 2 tries to Saracens, no tries at all. Their attack really cost them. The sidebar to all of this, what a great contest between the two captains, Tagburn and Maritoje. Could they be a Lions pairing come the summer? We'll have to see. Munster 17, Saracens 12, full time.
And also in that pool, Stade Francais have won well in the end against Northampton, 45-35. Leeds United, here's James. James stabs the ball into the Harrogate Town box to Joseph. He's surrounded by yellow and black Harrogate Town shirts who've been able to get the ball away. He almost had no chance there. Now Ramazani on the left-hand side. Ramazani clips it across, O'Connor heads it down. It hasn't bounced out of play yet. Ramazani crosses again. Nonto in the D, Willie Gnonto. And then Tanaka, flick from Joseph. Junior Firpo. Ramazani beats one man, still going, but his ball across the edge of the penalty area actually hit Bryn Morris, and Harrogate were able to clear it.
Yeah, it's all too narrow, it's too close, it's too tight for Leeds United. Too many interchanges of passing, all in around the 18-yard box in the space of 10-12 yards. It's too close, they're all on top of each other, almost trying to score the perfect goal.
Also in the Rugby Union, Ospreys have beaten Newcastle 35-15 in the Challenge Cup, as offside flag against Leeds United. So next in the Champions Cup, Leicester against Ulster, which will be on Sports Extra tonight. Yellow card being shown there, Paul.
Yeah, just been booked. Ramazani for kicking the ball away after the referee's whistle. Clearly blew loud and clear, as you can hear it down your radios, but Ramazani still chose to carry on and have his attempt at goal at the post, but got booked for it.
But delaying the restart when Leeds are 1-0 up. So I don't think you can blame the referee for that. Players have been warned enough. 1-0 it is. 10 minutes left. Lines open for 6:06. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage as Harrogate fire it forward. Goalkeeper Darlow comes out with the challenge. Well, March was challenging for it as Darlow came out, but referee is not interested in a potential penalty there. I think March perhaps looking for it.
It's a long ball from Harrogate, kicked straight down the middle. James Daly with a really good flick on. Josh March tries to get on the end of it, and Carl Darlow comes hurling out of his goal. He times it to perfection. He had to, because Josh March was through one-on-one with him. If he'd have got a toe on that, Josh March, if he'd have got anything on it, it'd have been round the Leeds United goalkeeper. It'd have been a penalty.
As it is, Darlow actually got good contact on the ball, and even though March went flying, that was the right decision. Stephen Duke McKenna's going to come on for Harrogate next. Throw into Harrogate Town down the left. and it is still a contest, this, and it's been a good contest in the second half.
Yep, and Simon Weaver making a couple more substitutions now as we wait for a long throw. Now all of a sudden we talk about everybody in the Harrogate Town box. Everybody bar one outfield player is in the Leeds United 18-yard box awaiting this long throw-in.
Yep, these ties have to be decided on the day. 1-0 Leeds United. They are going through, but Toby Sims, another one of these long throws, 5 yards back from the corner flag on the left hand side, a false start from him. Zico Asari is going to come on as well for Harrogate. It's going to be another double change for them. So Sims starts again. He's back up against the hoardings, not too far away from where that cut-out FA Cup was being waved around a few moments ago. As he starts again, Toby Sims winds himself up, then the loopy throw to the near post, which is headed away by Ramazzani, actually, the goal scorer, back in his own penalty area. Then the cross from the left, that's cleared away by Ampadu. And Burrell in the centre circle has got to be careful here. It bounced up for him. He jumped and headed it, and actually as he did so, he impeded the Leeds United player, and that is a free kick, and it's a yellow card for Burrell. You can hear that they were wanting a red card for that, which I think would have been optimistic. He was still inside the Leeds United half. Yeah, red would have been harsh, but he was really under pressure there, was Warren Burrell. Ramazzani, Gnonto, Matteo Joseph, all three of them smelling a counter-attack. And he was there, he was isolated on his own because all the Harrogate Town players had gone forward for the corner. Warren Burrell went to kick the ball, inadvertently he kicked Ramazzani, that's why he got booked. James Daly is coming off, and also being called to the side of the pitch is Toby Sims. So the long throw man being taken off, but he is replaced by Zico Asari, the number 2, the former Fulham youngster, who is a right back. Zico, if you're called Zico, it's a fair chance that you're going to have a footballing pedigree. So Zico Asari is on, and Stephen Duke McKenna as well, the Harrogate Town summer signing from QPR, is on, as Joseph will have a go here from just outside the D, right foot, but couldn't get it on target. Flew over the top of the crossbar. Not sure whether that had anything to do with the FA Cup balls that are being played with this season, but anyway, he couldn't get it on target. What could you possibly mean by that, John? Do you think they're a little bit lighter and fly higher than others? Well, different ball game. He got under that, Matteo Joseph. He wasn't actually that far away. Just missed James Belshaw's top left-hand corner. And Stephen Duke McKenna has taken up a position for Harrogate Town on the left-hand side. So still only 1-0. And it continues to be a competitive FA Cup third round tie between high-flying Championship leaders Leeds United, former FA Cup winners, and Harrogate Town. As into the challenge go Leeds United. Joseph takes it from the halfway line, gives it to Dan James, who shoots into the legs of Belshaw from the angle. The goalkeeper was falling, but he made a good block behind for a corner. It was a brilliant tackle on the halfway line by William Gnonto. Turnover possession set Matteo Joseph free, and Leeds United were 4-on-4 at one point. Matteo Joseph runs at the heart of the Harrogate Town defence, looks to his right hand side, and there's Dan James, and actually I think he's put too much on the ball. He's put it too far ahead of Dan James. James Belshaw comes out, closes the angle down, makes a good save with his legs, but it's a poor pass from Matteo Joseph into Dan James. Could have been a better ball. Corner though for Leeds. Still can't get that second goal that would finish off Simon Weaver's team. Corner from the right flank. Referee Bell is just talking to Gnonto, who's limping a little actually, and he's just saying there to as the corner comes into the near post, that's cleared away back to James on his right foot into the penalty area. Ampadu square from him, then the shot from Tanaka, but that's blocked. Harrogate Town breaking away again. Duke McKenna has given it away to Ampadu, and Dan James now. Harrogate could be exposed here at the box, at the back. He's past Burrell, who went to ground, but then Moon was there as the final line of defensive cover and was able to clear it away. Leeds go back to Giavolgi, who beat Josh March, whose yellow Harrogate Town shirt is very muddied after his exertions. Tanaka for Leeds, sees it opening up in front of him, but then it closes down. Bryn Morris is able to force him to go back again towards the halfway line. Back to Manchester City. Does that mean another one, Maz Faruqi?
Yeah, it means a second half 20-minute hat-trick for James McAtee. He attacked the ball across the area 8 yards out from the left from Jack Grealish, and that is Manchester City 8, Salford City 0.
8-0 as Leeds searching for their second. Play the ball into the box, but Bryn Morris is in there, clears it away. Out of play on the far side.
I see you looking at me. No, I've never conceded 8, John. No, never. 7. You know there's been a 7, but there's not been an 8.
I wasn't thinking that, actually. The crowd, 35,584. So Manchester City romping it through to the fourth round. And we will have 7 more ties tomorrow. You'll hear it all covered on 5 Live Sport. An early start tomorrow as the ball is played through by Follerin, but Darlow has got the ball at his feet. Yep, Steve Crossman's going to be with us tomorrow at Tamworth for all of the build-up. We'll start round about 1:45, 10 to 12, and all of the build-up through until 12:30 when the first of our commentaries begin tomorrow. Tamworth against Tottenham. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693, as well as the FA Cup. I'm sure that Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will want your views on the events of the week at West Ham, with Graham Potter now taking over, and as well, of course, at Everton with the departure of Sean Dyche and the arrival of David Moyes. And I think whatever you feel about that situation, and personally I feel that Sean Dyche's position as a manager in over the piece of what he's done at Everton has been enhanced.
Oh, absolutely. I think you look at what he's had to deal with, the adversity that he's had to deal with. You can understand the Everton supporters, the style of football, the lack of goals all the way down to Bournemouth for not even a single shot on target, the inability to score goals, the defensive stability that they've got. But actually I think they were sick and tired of the style of football they were watching. But actually as a manager you think about the points deductions and what he's dealt with.
Tanaka, nice ball through to Joseph, back to goal, and then gets the left foot shot in the end, but again lifts it high over the angle of post and bar. It's a good deal higher than the last one, which, as Paul said, wasn't far away. And we're going to see another Leeds player returning from injury now. Welcome return of Ilya Gruev, the Bulgarian, who's been out since October. So that again, good news for Leeds United to get players back, even though they still have on the injured list Patrick Bamford and Perrault, as we have been discussing. But I think for the challenges that are coming, obviously still going to be in the FA Cup with this scoreline, and the challenges in the Championship, every match, you look at them. Sheffield Wednesday come here next weekend, next Sunday, then Norwich City come, then they go to Burnley. It just keeps coming, so important to get players back, and I think that's Gnonto coming off, isn't it?
Yeah, you listen to the round of applause that Gruev will get. He was such a key player before he got injured. Very welcome back here at Ellen Road.
Yep, so on he comes, midfielder, 1-0 up, Daniel Farke, who I have to say still doesn't seem to have the overwhelming support of Leeds United's followers. But with this scoreline, Gruev being brought on to see it through, and now Leeds could break. O'Connor couldn't get there. James just got a touch, but it took it out wide on the right. Burrell has gone out there for Harrogate as well, up against Dan James. James with a cross. O'Connor back in position, is able to head it down. Duke McKenna, I think he might have given it away. No, he found Morris. However, Leeds still win it back, still searching for that second goal, and eventually it's stabbed away out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes before Leeds United, with this scoreline, confirm their place in tomorrow's fourth round draw.
Yeah, it's been a dominant performance. The scoreline might not suggest it's been a dominant performance, but possession-wise, opportunities, they've controlled the game. But at the same time, at 1-0, it's never been overly comfortable for them.
No, and Harrogate Town in the second half certainly made it a contest. However, here come Leeds again. O'Connor falling, blocks that shot from the edge of the penalty area, but Leeds are able to take possession again nearer the halfway line. So we are into 4 minutes of added time. So Harrogate Town have 3 minutes left of that. We've got 2 balls on the field at the moment. Asari takes the throw back to Belshaw. who gets it under control and volleys it away downfield. Schmidt plays it back over the top for James to chase, but Burrell is able to turn the ball back to Belshaw again. Yep, we've got 3 minutes to play. 3 minutes for Harrogate to find an equaliser that would take this match here into extra time at Elland Road. Burrell just allowing the ball to bounce out of play and takes the throw back to Belshaw. And Belshaw, heavy-ish touch, but right-footed, downfield over the halfway line. Schmidt allows it to bounce, and it will be allowed to roll out of play for a throw into Leeds.
Yeah, he's down below Simon Weaver. He's signalling to his players he wants them all up, higher up, longer ball, narrow the pitch, take their opportunity. If there is to be one last opportunity or one real clear opportunity for them, they're running out of time now, Harrogate.
And Leeds United songs begin to echo around Elland Road. Not full-throated yet, not full-throated marching on together. That will come if they're able to close out this victory. I think, you know, the FA Cup's like when the draw's made tomorrow. Whoever Leeds United play here at Elland Road, if they're able to get a home tie, that is far from straightforward. Throw in for Harrogate then. 2 minutes to go. The throw-in is taken and played back towards the halfway line. Long right-footed pass, but Darlow comes a long way out of his 6-yard box and catches it high above Giavogi. And that latest Harrogate Town attack comes to nothing. Darlow taking as long as he can here, with March standing in front of him, underarms it out to Giavogi. Now Junior Firpo passes the ball down the line for Ramazzani, the goal scorer, and Ramazzani turns and runs at O'Connor and beats him down one side. O'Connor leans into him, Ramazzani goes down. Referee Bell, who was right there, wags his finger as Ramazzani looks at him with the thought of, was that a penalty? Tanaka then back to Ampadu, might try a shot, no, he angles it to Junior Firpo. Now back to Ramazzani again on the left hand side. Zico Asari for Harrogate has come across to just take Ramazzani away from the fullback position, and Ramazzani has actually given it away. He's passed it to Follerin of Harrogate, and now Harrogate bring it forward down the right hand side, and Ampadu trips over Ellis Taylor, and that's a free kick to Harrogate 15 yards inside the Leeds half.
Well, this is it. This is last chance saloon for Harrogate Town. James Belshaw, the goalkeeper, looking over at Simon Weaver, waiting for the instruction, waiting for the nod of approval to go forward. They've got one last opportunity here. Simon Weaver waves his finger to his goalkeeper, says off you go. Every single person inside Leeds United's box awaiting this delivery from Duke McKenna.
That was very cool of Simon Weaver, wasn't it? He took his time there. He was a bit like a military general, wasn't he, from the medieval times, who eventually gave the signal for Belshaw to go up. So Duke McKenna to take this free kick for Harrogate. Way out on the right, curls it into the box. Headed away, though, by Joseph. And now with Belshaw out of his goal, Leeds United supporters are calling for Schmidt to shoot from the halfway line. Actually, he's passed it centrally. Now it's with James on the right-hand side, and Leeds and Belshaw have been able to get back into position, and then Zico Asari intercepts on the edge of the box. And there is the full-time whistle. And Leeds United, the championship leaders, claim their place in the fourth round of the FA Cup. And Harrogate Town, down at the bottom end of League Two, Harrogate Town, who've made the short journey here to Elland Road to play in this ground against Leeds United in a competitive match for the first time, and they have made it competitive too, losing only to that Ramazzani second half goal.
Yeah, Simon Weaver and his Harrogate Town team deserve a lot of credit for what they've done today. They've kept themselves in the game, only lost by 1-0, but actually it was a very, very dominant performance by Leeds United. Leeds were excellent in possession, the created chances, just didn't really have that cutting edge in the final third. They never really looked in trouble, Leeds, apart from maybe the odd throw in the long corners. Opportunities from set plays for Harrogate, few and far between. Leeds United were very dominant, always in control, but at 1-0 it was never safe, it was never secure. A very good win by Leeds United, but an excellent display by Simon Weaver and his Harrogate team.
Yep, the two sets of players greeting each other, lots of warm handshakes on a cold night on the halfway line. So Leeds United 1, Harrogate Town 0. Not so close over on the other side of the Pennines with you, Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, 5 different goal scorers. A 20-minute second half hat-trick for James McAtee. 2 penalties scored, first by Grealish, the second by Doku. A pretty straightforward afternoon for Pep Guardiola's side. They've beaten League 2 Salford City here at the Etihad 8-0.
Thank you very much, Maz. So Manchester City absolutely cruising through to tomorrow's draw, which will be after the Arsenal-Manchester United match. So it'll be on BBC One. The Arsenal-Manchester United match as well on BBC One tomorrow afternoon. Don't miss that. Make sure you're in a position to watch that tomorrow afternoon. And still playing is the all-championship tie between Coventry and Sheffield Wednesday. Nick Hatton.
Yeah, into the 80th minute, John. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Liam Kitching's first half goal, the difference at the moment. Coventry really should be out of sight in this second half. Ellis Sims, Brandon Thomas-Asante both with headers. Sims' second header well saved by Piers Charles in the Wednesday goal. Jamie Allen shot over. Jamal Lowe has had the best chance for Wednesday about 5 minutes ago. Run into the box on the left-hand side. His shot was blocked from 8 yards out. 10 minutes to go. It's Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
And just in case you haven't heard, the Leyton Orient Derby County tie was postponed this evening. So 7 more ties tomorrow. Paul Robinson, you're going to be at Newcastle Bromley, aren't you? I'm going to be at Tamworth Tottenham, Arsenal Manchester United. And what's the pick of them for you there? What are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to your game, in all honesty, John. The Tamworth Tottenham game, that's the real potential upset. You look at the teams involved. We've seen potential upsets today, but only Plymouth gave us that away at a Premier League side. And I think we go on about the magic of the FA Cup, don't we? But the magic of the FA Cup is when these lower league teams, these non-league teams, the League 2 teams, get the big boys at home. And that's what's happening tomorrow, Tamworth Tottenham. I think that's the first game. You're going to be there and enjoy your first trip, was it, to the Lamb?
To the Lamb,
there you go.
Yes, but here inside Elland Road, the Harrogate Town supporters are applauding the players and staff who are all on the pitch, applauding back to them after their efforts tonight as the Leeds United players move down the tunnel. So the line's open for 606 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 08085 909 693. Get in touch, hashtag BBC 606 on social media, 85058. Read about all today's football on the football page of the BBC Sport website. There's a FA Cup match of the day tonight on BBC One. And obviously the 5 Live Football Daily podcast will round it all up for you. And lots more live sport to come tonight and through the night. Leicester, Ulster, it will be on Sports Extra from 7:55, so not long to wait for that. So that's Sports Extra on BBC Sounds and your digital radio. The Women's Ashes on Sports Extra from 11 o'clock tonight. The Australian Open tennis begins this evening at 7 o'clock, and then all of the weekend sport rounded up in 5 Live Breakfast tomorrow morning with Colin Murray on air at 10 and the great football songbook at 10:30. All of the live football tomorrow. 5 Live Sport, which starts just before 12 o'clock. Steve Crossman will be with us at the Lamb as we build up the Tamworth against Tottenham. So don't miss that. The other scoreline, if you missed it, Manchester United winning 7-0 against West Brom in the Women's FA Cup. But Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton are standing by to take your calls on 606 after the news on 5 Live with Dan Maudsley.